Here, so GBP, USD, I know, shocker, what a surprise, my favorite pair. So of course we are going to talk about GU and see what type time they are on right now. And right now, GU at around 430, like clockwork. When you focus on a pair, you notice the tendencies, and the tendencies for me when it comes to GU, I know around 430 it likes to move. For some reason, it just does. And this big engulfing candle does not surprise me at all. We have this trend line that has been following since January, the start of the new year. So we could finally break this trend line and see it head to this 1.36 psych level or this 1.35 psychological level. On top of this, we have this high of 1.37500, which I predicted it would get to. I didn't think it'd get there that fast. Basically, like when I predicted it, it got there like the next day. I thought it'd take like at least 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Or at least a few weeks, but it got there, great, cool. So now we got this lower high right here, another lower high right here. I can place a Fibonacci from here to here, A to B. And obviously C got to the 38.2 extension, and the lowest it could get to is this 1.363 or this 1.36 flat, so it kind of lines up. But on top of that, what I like to do, I like to trade long term. Like, yeah, there may be some intraday trades, like the trade I just showed last week. But realistically, I want to see what GU wants to do, because over here, the long-term play was 1.37500. Now, what is the next long-term play? And if I could just do my analysis based on what's going on, if I just delete this and just look at it from, an overall standpoint, let's talk about if it were to go up or go down. Because if you guys go back to this video that I made, the absolute best Forex video for day traders, one of the piece of information and knowledge that I gave in that video is that I am a reactive trader. I react to what the market does and what it wants to do. And so if I can go back to, let me see, where's it at? GU is right here. So I got a bunch of tabs open, but it's all good. If I can go to back to right here, I'm reacting. So if it wants to go up, I'll be prepared for it. If it wants to go down, I will still be prepared for it. So when we are looking for an uptrend, potentially, if it were to still go down, I can see it, because if you go to the weekly time frame or even the daily, it likes to do this. Like I see my pairs where, like, you see how this ended up going up, but there's still a wick here and a wick here. You go all the way down here. Look at this. Like, price came all the way down here, but ended up closing way up here. Same with over here. Came down here before going up here. So it coming down to this 1.3600 level before potentially pushing back up, and we're starting to see new highs since October, would not surprise me, because that is what GU likes to do. And that is what I want all you guys to understand, is that look at what price did in the past, no matter what it may be, no matter if it's the last 2 weeks, the last 2 months. See how the candlesticks formed at the end of the week, because price likes to repeat itself. So it wouldn't surprise me at all in terms of coming down and heading back up. Now, if we're looking for a downtrend, I saw this a little bit earlier, where if I just zoomed all the way out, and we look at this, we have a long-term trend line that's not drawn on just yet, but we are basically touching that trend line in order to potentially head back down. If I can grab this trend line and go from here to here, we have A, B, C, D, and price is not closing above this trend line. It tapped 1.37, didn't close above it. Same with over here, tapped it again, didn't close above it. So if it were to break this and even come to 1.36, this is where I'd like to see. This is where it's going to be very, very key to see if it, because price is not just going to drop all the way down. Like, it's going to potentially come to 1.36, come back up to give another lower high, and then drop, right? So this is going to be the key. When price comes down here, which I'm fully on right now in terms of where it's going to go right this second, and I may even get in a trade short term just to trade it down there just to see, but actually I don't think I will, because it's right on the trend line. There's no guarantee it's going to break that trend line. If there was no trend line there, then yeah, I'd trade it to that level. Neither here nor there. But it's going to be key to see if price were to get down here and break this trend line and come right to this 1.36 level and then come back up, even if it gets to 1.35880, right, and then come back up, is it going to come up to retest this trend line? Is it going to come up to even break this trend line and break this high? Or is it going to come up to, create a new lower high, maybe retest the trend line, and then drop back down, which has been on point with GU since July of 2021. You know what I mean? We started here, we came down, made a new low, made a new lower high, made a lower low, made a lower high, made a lower low. Now this is a lower high, and now we're going to see if we can potentially make a lower low and even break this 1.32 level. But you got to see how long it took. This was from October all the way to December, about 2 months. This is from September to October, 1 month. This is from July to August, 1 month. So we are expecting, if price were to come all the way down here, we are expecting anywhere between 1 to 2 months on how long it'll take down here. And the reason that's important is because no matter if you're a day trader or a scalper, for me, I like to understand the long-term direction of something. And once I understand the long-term direction of something, then it's easier for me to be like, okay, I'm making sure I'm going to place every trade in the direction towards the direction it's heading. I may take some short-term trades, like I may hold one for 2-3 weeks, but in terms of like physical day trading, yeah, like I'm looking for sales. If I see any opportunity for a buy, then I'm just gonna let it play out, let the buyers run it up a little bit because the sellers are taking profit. And then once it starts to go up, which is creating that lower high, that is where you stalk it and you get in because you're looking for that low. Once you get confirmation, I'm not saying blindly get in. Once you get actual confirmation that's about to head back down, then great. But understand, this is only in the case that price is coming back down here, makes that lower high, and then shows that it's actually a downtrend. We're gonna head all the way back down. That's the only scenario. If we were to head back up, like I do think for some reason, based on my experience, based on what price is looking like right now, based on this candlestick, like yes, it could bounce with this candlestick and come back up. But I do think price may get to 1.3600. That's not like a guarantee. Just based off experience and just reading the market and reading what it's looking like, that it may follow this quick little Fibonacci and come down here real quick, break this little trend line that it's been following since January, delete this trend line, get that out the way, and then go back to overall structure, which is potentially heading back down. Yeah, so I'm not getting in any trade right just yet. This is just my analysis right now on what's going on, and then based on what happens, then I'll get in the trade, and then you guys will watch that obviously live as well. But I'm starting to do this more often because it shows you guys from beginning to end my thought process. And my thought process is I'm trying to react to the market, see what it's going to do, and then once it does what it wants to do, so I can see what we enter.